Yo, guys, what is going on? It is your boy Hollywood Steve. I am sorry, guys. I was going to get a video out yesterday. I just completely ran out of time. So let's get into it, shall we? Wrestling fans, this is your boy Hollywood Steve here. Today on the Hollywood Steve Wrestling Podcast, we are going to review Monday night's episode of Monday Night Raw. But before we jump into the review, make sure you guys ring that bell for notifications. Hit that thumbs up like button. Share this video, comment, and subscribe, guys. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers, guys. All right, with all that out of the way, let's get into Monday's episode of Raw and break it down. So Monday Night Raw started with Roman Reigns arriving and Adam Pearce in tow, showing him the contract for later. He and his cousin Jacob Fatu would sign the contract, making their match at Backlash this Saturday for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship official. Jacob Fatu had not arrived yet. Then we got the official opening segment that was Seth Rollins making his way down to the ring to address his match with Braun Breaker at Backlash. But before Seth walked through the curtain, he and Roman had a stare down as Roman was in Gorilla, ready to walk out and sign the contract. But he had to wait for Fatu. So Seth made his way down to the ring. But as he was doing so, Braun Breaker jumped him in the aisle and threw him into the barricade, and he and Seth traded blows for a bit until Braun cut Rollins in half with a spear. Breaker was then escorted to the back up the aisle by WWE officials. Then we got a recap of Finn Balor talking to Roxanne Perez in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Then we had the Judgment Day in their clubhouse, and the Raw Women's Champion Liv Morgan addressed Perez for keeping it a secret about Finn being in the clubhouse, as he was no longer part of the group. Morgan told Perez that they are family and they don't keep secrets. Then Raquel addressed Nikki Bella and Paige, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and said that she and Perez want them to come to Raw and they can put up their titles. Then we had Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. This is with Jackie Redmond. She was interviewing the Judgment Day. Then we had Bayley and Lyra Valkyria walk up and they had some words for Liv Morgan and the rest of the Judgment Day, but Liv took the Judgment Day and walked away with Bayley and Lyra just standing there, shaking their heads. Then we got our first match: Finn Balor taking on Judgment Day's JD McDonough. JD controlled most of the match, but during the match, Roxanne made her way down to the ring to help JD. Dominic Mysterio made his way along with Liv and Raquel, who interfered in the match multiple times. This was Dominic who interfered in the match multiple times. Dominic alone interjected himself at least 4 times. Jessica Carr caught Mysterio and tried to throw him out of the match, but Liv grabbed the bell hammer, the timekeeper's hammer, as she got up on the apron and was being admonished by the referee. She dropped the timekeeper's hammer to Roxanne, and she ran around, and as Finn was going to the outside of the ring, she hit him in the throat with the hammer, and JD hit Balor with a headbutt and got the win. Then we had Jackie Redmond backstage talking with Seth Rollins about being jumped from behind by Braun Breaker. We then got a recap of Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns face to face Fatu using the Tongan death grip on Reigns. Then we got the Vision in their locker room, and Logan Paul was pacing back and forth furiously when Paul Heyman came into the locker room and said that he had a hard week. He had a hard week with Brock Lesnar retiring on him after he asked Seth, and then he asked Braun if Seth was still breathing. He said he was. And with Braun Breaker jumping Seth and getting himself almost kicked out of the arena or getting suspended, Paul Heyman said they can't have Braun doing what he did, almost getting himself kicked out of the arena or getting suspended again. But Logan Paul was begging Heyman to let him fight Joe Hendry, because Joe Hendry has this. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. So Logan Paul was begging Heyman to let him fight Joe Hendry so he could put him in the hospital. But Heyman said that is exactly why he couldn't have Logan Paul fight Joe Hendry. Austin Theory said he would handle Joe Hendry and make him feel the pressure. Logan agreed. Then we got Penta and Javon Evans taking on Rusev and All Ego Ethan Page. Rusev was in control of the match until he made the tag to Page, and the heels continued to control the match. Evans then took charge of the match. He made the tag to Penta. Penta and Evans took control. And Evans hit a dive over the top rope to Rusev onto the floor. Penta hit a Penta driver for a 2 count. Coming out of the ad break, Page and Rusev were in control again. Page attempted the twisted grin, which he had been trying to hit all match, but again Penta countered. He got the tag to Evans, and again Evans took out Rusev with another dive over the top rope. Evans got a near fall after hitting a flying clothesline. Evans went for a moonsault but missed and rolled through. He made the tag to Penta after countering a twisted grin. After countering a twisted grin, Penta hit a tornado DDT, but Rusev broke up the pin. Evans hit a suicide dive to Rusev on the outside of the ring. Page pushed Evans off the top. As Evans was going to the top rope, Page pushed him off. Then as Penta was going for a move off the apron, Page swept his feet out from underneath him. Then as Penta was going for a move off the apron, Page swept his feet out from underneath him. Rusev pushed Penta into the announce table, back first, and threw him back into the ring, where Page hit a pile driver for the win. And Rusev and Ethan Page were smiling, and yeah, Rusev and Page, Ethan, All Ego pick up the win there. Then we had Sol Ruka coming out to officially sign her Raw contract and officially become part of the Raw roster, the Raw women's division. And as Sol was in the ring, Becky Lynch's music hit. Becky Lynch, the women's Intercontinental Champion, her music hit. She came out and interrupted the proceedings. Her and Ruka traded some verbal jabs back and forth. And when Becky finally had enough, Becky went to punch Sol Ruka, but Sol backed out of the way, and Becky's punch inadvertently got Adam Pearce, and Pearce was not happy. So then Sol Ruka hit a Soul Snatcher, but she sort of botched it. She missed jumping up to the top rope, so she recovered and hit it off the second rope, which was a good recovery. But she was able to recover and hit the Soul Snatcher on Becky Lynch. So we may be very soon getting Sol Ruka versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I would love that. And then after that, we got to look back at SmackDown from last week when Solo Sikoa and Tala Tonga. Now, if you guys didn't know, Tala Tonga is Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa are the only ones left in the MFTs because JC Mateo or Jeff Cobb has been released. He was released last week with the Wyatt Six and a bunch of other releases. So we got to look back last week at SmackDown when Solo Sikoa and Tala Tonga confronted the Usos, and then we got to look at the match between Tala Tonga and Jey Uso, and Jacob Fatu interfering in the match between the two. And then as the Usos were going into Roman's locker room, we had Jackie Redmond stop the Usos just before they went into Roman's dressing room to get their reaction to Jacob Fatu's actions last week on SmackDown. Jay basically told Fatu that he had better be ready for Roman on Saturday because the Tribal Chief ain't playing around. The Tribal Chief ain't messing around no more. He is so Jay basically told him, you done messed up, boy. You done messed up, so you better be ready to pay the piper. Then we had Joe Hendry in the ring. He was doing his song that he had wrote about Logan Paul getting fired. And again, Logan Paul came out yelling at Hendry, saying, "I'm unfireable. You can't fire me. I'm unfireable." And he was accompanied by Austin Theory. And then of course then we got the match between Austin Theory and Joe Hendry. Austin Theory controlled much of the match as Joe Hendry took control and was looking to finish Theory off and pick up the win. Logan Paul jumped in the ring and jumped Hendry, causing the DQ. And as Logan Paul and Austin Theory were beating down Joe Hendry, the Street Profits ran down and came to the aid of Joe Hendry. So we might be getting. Looks like we're probably going to get the Street Profits and Logan Paul, or versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory for those Raw tag titles. I wouldn't be surprised if we do it at Backlash, if it happens at Backlash, if it gets made official this week. I wouldn't be surprised about that, and I wouldn't hate it. The Street Profits need a title. Need a title. Need to win some titles here. And then we had all total chaos happen. Total chaos broke out. Braun Breaker came running down to help out his stablemates. Breaker took out both the Street Profits. Seth Rollins came running through the crowd, took out Breaker, but as Seth was distracted by Montez Ford going over the top, Logan to take out Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Braun Breaker hit Seth with a spear. And then we had, again, Jackie Redmond. Like I said earlier, Jackie Redmond. This is where we got Jackie Redmond backstage. This is where we got Jackie Redmond backstage talking to Judgment Day and Raquel, making the challenge to Paige and Nikki Bella for those women's tag titles. And we had Bayley and Lyra Valkyria come walking up, and again, we had a little trash talk, and Liv was like, said, "Hey, we're family." Da 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 da. And so Liv took her family. She said Liv and her family did not have time for Bailey and Lyra, and the Judgment Day walked away, and Liv, did her laugh that she's been doing, and then we got this was kind of fun. This was actually kind of funny. I kind of chuckled at this maybe a little bit. Then we got Obafemi coming out to issue his open challenge to anyone who thinks they could beat him. We had Alpha Academy come out to accept the challenge, and at first it looked like it was going to be Akira Tozawa, but Tozawa very, very quickly realized that he was very much overmatched here. So he had Otis take his spot. And in a semi-short match, I mean, it was hard hitting. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was like two bulls going at each other. Goodness, man, this was awesome. I want to see that match again, like a longer match. I want to see that match again. This was a really good match. I liked it. But in the semi-short match, Obafemi hit a fall from grace from the second rope as he realized he couldn't get Otis, pick Otis up just by in a standing position. He had to use the second rope to assist him, and he hit the fall from grace and picked up the win. And then we had a face-to-face with Asuka and Io Sky. They kind of went back and forth in Japanese and English before their match on Saturday. Io was like, "Hey, what happened? What happened here? What happened to us? We used to be close, used to be really good friends. What happened here? Why, and Asuka was like, I trained you, all this stuff. I trained you. You're no longer, basically, you're no longer grateful for what I've done for you, and da 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 da. And Asuka hit sprayed Io Sky with the mist and walked away. And then Seth Rollins was backstage having a little conversation with the referee, telling him, "Hey, I'm good. I don't need medical attention. My ribs are fine. I don't need medical. I'm good. I'm absolutely fine." And then as he was walking, he runs into the Street Profits and Joe Hendry, and they have a little back and forth. And he said, "Hey, look, basically, I'll stay out of your way if you guys stay out of mine. We both have a problem with the vision, but you guys stay out of my way. I'll stay out of yours. You guys let me handle Braun. You guys don't get in my way. I won't get in your way, and we'll be fine." And they agreed. Then we got then we got a trios match. This one we had the original El Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable, and Los Americano Hermanos, aka the Creed brothers, taking on El Grande Americano, aka Ludwig Kaiser, and Los Americanos, aka Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, because we all know, you guys watch, you guys know that Rio and Rayo are Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. We know that they've totally embraced the they've totally embraced the they've totally embraced the Mexican Mexican culture, which I think is which I think is cool. But we all know who's under the mask, and we all know it's a Ludwig Kaiser just by looking at his physique and his body type, and yeah, we know it's Ludwig. But at the event on May 30th, I believe, in AAA, El Grande Americano, the original El Grande Americano, and El Grande Americano are having a mask versus mask. And if you guys don't know, when it's a mask versus mask, that is a big thing because the mask in Lucha Libre is sacred. That is something that that is really, really sacred. Really, that is something that you don't mess with. And if a luchador loses his mask, it is like he loses part of his identity. He loses his identity. He loses who he is, in a way. But in a really pretty good match, the original El Grande Americano picks up the win for him and Los Americano Hermanos. Then we got to the best part of the night. We got the contract signing for Roman Reigns, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, versus Jacob Fatu at Backlash this Saturday. Roman comes out first. He's back to his old entrance. I love it. Roman, Roman does his thing, and he tells Jacob, Roman acknowledged, Fatu's 12-year journey to get to the WWE, and he commended him for it. He said, took you 12 years, but I've been doing this. I've been in this business for over 12 years. I've been doing this for 12 years. And Jacob Fatu just kind of sat there, took it, and he reminded Jacob that he told Brock Lesnar that after he beat Brock, he told him that this was his ring, this was his time, this was his yard. He's the guy now. He's the guy. Nobody else. He's the bar. He's the standard. And and Roman said, yeah, well, Jacob, you've been trying to you're trying to feed you're doing this to try and feed your 7 kids and put food on their table. He was grinding, trying to feed his 170 kids, the Samoan dynasty. And he was saying what he's been doing in the WWE is generational. He said, this is what I'm doing, where I'm at right now, my status is generational. I'm doing this for everybody in our family. And eventually Jacob Fatu got fed up. Jacob said a few things, but then Jacob Fatu got the Tongan death grip on Roman. But this was he tried to get the Tongan death grip on him earlier, but Roman kept getting out of it. Roman kept countering it, kept getting out of it. And just on a side note, something I found really interesting. Michael Cole and both Michael Cole and Corey Graves gave us a little history lesson of the Tongan death grip. It was made famous by WWE legend Haku, who That was his finisher. He used it more. He used it more, especially in his WCW days. But so Jacob Fatu finally got the Tongan death grip and put on Roman and put him through the table. And as Roman was left laying out, Fatu signed the contract, and that was how Monday Night Raw went off the air, guys. That was Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you guys thought of it. I thought Monday Night Raw kicked off with a bang. On Monday, I thought it was a great way to kick off with Seth and Braun just beating the ever living crap out of him, and I thought that was great. I thought it was great. Raw really kicked off hot. And it was a good episode. It really was. It was a good episode of Raw. Raw's had its. Like I said, Raw's had its moments where it's been very lackluster. Very lackluster. Very uninteresting. Very, just kind of very average episodes. But this one, week before Backlash, which is again taking place this Saturday in Tampa. It's gonna be good. The card is really good. They're gonna again have the first hour on Saturday, the first hour on ESPN, and then the first hour on ESPN2 on Sunday. So, they're gonna have other way around. They're gonna have the first hour on ESPN2 on Saturday, and then on Sunday they're gonna have the first hour on ESPN. So, again, just to kind of whet your appetite if you're not a wrestling fan, if you just kind of been watching, just kind of, oh, this is kind of interesting, just to kind of whet your appetite to get you to get the ESPN app so you can finish watching, so you can watch the rest of Backlash. And again, I mean, it was a good episode. They're things are getting interesting. I am looking forward to that Roman and Fatu match. That is going to be a good match. That really is going to be a good match. Later, we will run down the card for... I will run down the card later, and I will actually give you... I haven't done this in a while. I will do a predictions video. I will give you guys my predictions for each of the matches thus far. And, well, actually, by Friday, we should have the card pretty much set. I think the card is set. I'm going to look and see what the card is, and I will give you guys my predictions in a predictions video. I know I haven't done a predictions video in a very long time. It's been a hot minute since I've done a predictions video. So I will have one up for you guys before Saturday. So let me know what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw. Let me know your guys' comments, your guys' overall thoughts of Raw, what you guys thought about it. And guys, remember, I want to thank the wrestling fans for watching. Remember, this is your boy Hollywood Steve saying, when you're Hollywood Steve, it's for life.